Hello and welcome. My name is Usha, and today I'm going to be showing you some prenatal yoga that will help to open up the sides of the body and the chest. We're also going to do a little bit for the hip flexors. So getting a lot of the front body today, a little bit in the shoulders as well. So we'll start in a kneeling position, and I like to take a block underneath my sit bones, between my heels. It looks like this from the back. And if you don't have a block, you can use up a rolled up blanket. So something about this size, a blanket or a block. Or you can just sit on the heels if that's okay. And if you have any pain in the knees, you can just come into a simple cross-legged pose. So get yourself comfortable in a kneeling pose. This kneeling position is great for any of our breathing exercises or seated meditation if you have that in your practice. So sit up nice and tall, relax your shoulders, close the eyes. We'll just take the first few moments to connect with the breath. As you close your eyes, bring your gaze inwards. Notice if you feel any tension or tightness anywhere in the body. And as you breathe deeply, allow your exhales to relax the body. So if you're noticing any tension or stress in the shoulders, just invite the shoulders to relax and soften with your awareness. You can relax your throat, your jaw, your forehead. Allow your belly to relax. We'll take a moment to take both hands over our belly and connect with your baby. Let's take a few deep breaths, saying hello, tuning in. Knowing that all these practices that benefit your body also benefit your baby. All right, and we're ready to move into our asanas. So we'll start by stretching the arms up. As you stretch up the arms, take a deep inhalation. As you exhale, relax your ribcage and your shoulders down the back. Take another inhale here. As you exhale, bring your hands to the top of your shoulders, and we'll take some natural breaths beginning to circle the elbows. So this is a gentle way to warm up the shoulders and begin to open the chest and the back of the heart. I like to imagine that I have a paintbrush on the tip of my elbows, and I'm drawing big colorful circles through the space. Just trying to get as much range of motion as I can with the arm bone. And we're going to switch directions, just reverse, taking your circles the other way. One more circle. Good. You can release the arms down. And we're going to come into a kneeling position. And you can take that block off to your right. So if you have tender knees, you're going to want to add some padding. I'm on carpeting, so it's pretty comfortable, but you can roll up a blanket or get a pillow and put it under your knees. So in this kneeling position, you want to have your block. You can use a book, or you could also use something really handy that most people will have at home is a mason jar. It's almost the same height as a block. You can get the big ones, but just find something that'll work for you. And I'm just going to give you a side view here. You want to lengthen through the tailbone and the pubic bone equally. So you're not sticking your butt out, you're not sticking your hips forward. You're finding that nice neutral position, and the low back has a natural curve to it. So you want your block in line with your hips, just off to the side here. We're going to stretch and reach the arms up with an inhale. Just as we did before, relax your shoulders on an exhale. Take another inhale. Then as you exhale, you'll side bend to the right, taking your right hand to the block. You may want to move it in or out. And stretch through the left side. Relax your face, relax the shoulders. Reach down through both of your thigh bones, paying particular attention to stretch down through your left side. Breathe into your left lung, your left rib cage, so we're opening up the side body here. One more breath. Use your inhale to come up to the top. Pick your block up. And on your exhale, just lower the block down. Stretch both arms up again. Inhale. Relax the shoulders. Knit your front ribs back so you're lengthening the sides of the body, tailbone long. Inhale. And side bend, exhale. The left hand will come to the block. Find where you want it to be. And side bend, stretch to the right side. Deep breaths. Breathing through the whole body. Relax your left shoulder down. Stretch through the right fingertips. Make sure there's no tension in your head. You can look down if that feels good. You can let your head side bend. Just finding what works for your neck. This left side body stays long too, so you're reaching and growing long as you side bend, lengthening the spine. Last breath, and we'll use an inhale to rise up. Stretch up through both arms. Bring the palms together and exhale. Have a seat on the heels. Just taking a little rest here. We're going to come to Camel Pose next, which is a really nice opening for the chest and the front of the spine. You just want to be mindful to stay within your comfort zone and not go too deeply. During pregnancy, we want to be mindful and not overstretch, especially being mindful of the low back here. So think about this pose as a chest opener, not so much a low back bend. So we're really focusing on opening through the heart. And again, I'm just going to give you a side view. You can have your toes tucked under. If you think you might be coming deep into this pose, you can take 2 blocks you'll need on either side of your heels. Just if you think you might go that deeply, and I'll show you what that would look like. So we're actually going to start by taking our hands onto our rib cage and just feel your breath in the lateral body. So take an inhale, expanding into your hands, and as you exhale, just relax the shoulders. And we'll do that 2 more times, inhaling laterally, feeling the rib cage expand out to the sides, and a long exhale. Once more. And now you can take your hands into your low back, just over the sacrum. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and your elbows towards each other. Lengthen your tailbone towards the floor and lengthen the front of your thighs. Start to lift up. Lift your rib cage off of your hips. Lift your sternum and your chest away from your pelvic bone. Let your hips slightly move forward as you keep squeezing your shoulder blades and elbows towards each other. The legs are strong and engaged here. You can look up slightly. Be mindful not to let your head just drop back. We want to lengthen the cervical spine, so you're lengthening the neck. This is all about creating length here in the spine. Keep squeezing the elbows and the shoulders. And this is your pose. You can stay here. As I mentioned, if you think you might want to come deeper, you can take your hands to the blocks. Just keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. Imagine that you're pressing your shoulder blades into the back of your heart and lifting your heart up towards the sky. Take 2 more breaths. Relax the face. And if you took your hands to the blocks, you'll take your hands onto your low back. Come up nice and slow, staying even through both sides. We want to avoid any side to side twisting motion. And then we're just going to take a seat, lowering back onto the hips. You can take your hands in your laps, close your eyes, and just feel the breath in the front of the body. It should feel nice and spacious through the heart and the chest. And from here, we're going to come back into that kneeling position. Your knees are hip distance apart, just like they were in your camel pose. You can take your hands onto your hips and gently step your left foot forward. So this requires a little bit of balance. If you're feeling unbalanced, you can take your hands to the floor and then step your left foot forward and come up. So this is our starting position with our hips lined up right over the right knee. To deepen the stretch in your hip flexor, you can start to send your hips forward. Be mindful of the alignment of your left knee over your left ankle. If you're starting to come deeper, bringing the knee forward, you're going to want to walk your left foot forward to keep the knee above the ankle, not in front. So this would be a deeper version of the stretch. So find a position that feels the most comfortable for your right hip flexor, and then lengthen the spine, lengthen the tailbone down, stretch the arms up. Take an inhale. On your exhale, we'll take the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, and squeeze your palms together, squeeze your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades. Just like in that camel pose, we're going to press the shoulder blades into the back of the heart and lift the heart towards the sky. Opening the chest and getting an upper back bend. And then you can choose if you want to come a little deeper here. You can lift the hands off the back a little bit to deepen the chest. Keep lengthening the tailbone down and anchoring down through that right knee so your thighs and your legs are active here. Press into your left foot and down through the right thigh bone. Keep lifting the heart up. Good. And we'll release by taking the hands to the knee, lifting the hips, and slowly sitting back onto the knees in our starting position. So being mindful of your knees, make sure you've got padding under the knees if you need it. We're going to come back for the second side. So the knees start hip distance apart, hands on the hips, right foot steps forward. So just doing that nice and gently as you need to. And again, your hips are squared and you're starting to walk your right foot forward as your hips come deeper down here. You want to be rooting down through that right leg and down through the left thigh. Let's stretch the arms up. Take an inhale. Breathe into the side body. And on your exhale, the hands come behind the back. Interlace your fingers the opposite way, so the opposite thumb and forefinger come on top. So it's our non-habitual way. Squeeze the elbows, the palms, the shoulder blades. Lift the chest. Open through the front of the neck, the front of the heart, and let your hips move a little bit more towards the earth if that's available to you. Lifting the hands, knuckles reaching towards your left heel. Keep lengthening the tailbone, staying strong in the legs. Staying strong in the legs in these poses helps to protect the sacrum and the low back. So you want to stay active in the legs. You have one more breath here. Relax the face. And release the hands to the knee. Gently lift the hips. Step your right leg back. You're going to take the hands to the floor. Separate your knees wide apart. And we'll finish this practice by resting in child's pose. So your knees are wide enough apart for there to be space for your belly and your baby. Your hips are reaching back towards your heels. You're going to walk your hands forward, bring your forehead and your heart towards the ground, and rest. As you breathe in this child's pose, bring your awareness into your hips and your low back. Imagine you can breathe space and oxygen into the low back. Just letting the body rest. And you can stay in child pose for a few more breaths if you'd like. You can also come into a side lying or lying on your back to rest for a few more minutes to complete your practice. So thank you for practicing. I hope your heart and your body's feeling nice and spacious. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Namaste.